wanted to review the Hatch Smart, I guess you could call it, Smart Nightlight and Sound Machine. So this is a 2-in-1 product where you can have the nightlight function, a dimmable nightlight function, as well as the sound machine all into one. So with Rylan, our oldest daughter, we used a, just ordered off Amazon, a simple touch lamp that could go 3 different brightnesses, and that was its own unit. And then we also bought a cheap sound machine that was a separate unit. So then we had 2 things on her nightstand, required 2 plugs. It wasn't bad. We enjoyed using them, but then we came across the Hatch, and we liked that it was a 2-in-1 where you can just simplify what's on the nightstand, you can simplify what's plugged in, and it just seemed like it had a lot of smart features that we would use, like using it from your app, so that if your baby's in a room and say your toddler's being extra loud, you can just go on your app and turn it up from there. It also comes in with, you can touch the top for different settings, so you can have 3 or 4 different settings. So like you tap it once, it say you have a sound and light, tap it again, maybe it's just sound, tap it again, it's just light. Like you can have different settings like that for when you need it in the middle of the night. So how I feel about it is that I think it's not necessary, especially for the price. I think it is too smart for a sleep deprived parent who just wants to quickly touch something in the middle of the night. There's no way I'm using a phone app on my phone, like 100% when they're right beside me. I would much rather just touch it. And this specific model, this is purchased in 2018, 2019. All your functions are on the bottom because it's, you know, assumed that you're going to just be using this sensor touch spot here. Think with that, we have it set to like the dryer sound machine, and then our second setting is just the light. Easy enough. But when you are in the middle of the night and you want to say keep the sound machine on while you're changing your baby's diaper, you know, then you realize, oh crap, I don't have that setting, or I'm not going to tap through and disrupt the sound and wake my baby up more by turning the sound off. And it's like, it gets to be a bit much when you're trying to figure it all out. And then, you know, you have to flip it upside down. The light isn't very bright, which is the point, because you don't want to overstimulate your baby while you're breastfeeding. You want to keep things dim, the least amount of stimulation as possible. Great. But when it came to diaper changes, it literally, it was like it was seeing in the dark. I wished it had just been a slight more brighter. I think maybe it's the material. I'm not too sure. And also, because it's so dim, we can't use this for story time before bed. So we technically still need a lamp in here, whereas in Rylan's room, we just have the basic touch lamp that's separate, and it is bright enough to get to being just dim enough where she's not overstimulated at bedtime. So, but we can still read her books. So it's not like a bright light or a bright lamp beside your bed that's not dimmable. And I like that better. This we can't use for bedtime stories, and even like keeping the light off and this on for diaper changes before bed just to keep it dim. It's too dark. So we have to end up turning the hallway light on without turning the main room lights on because they're just too bright when you're trying to, you know, get their melatonin levels going. So overall, I don't think you would regret buying it. I do think it's a very well-made product. I like the material, so if you were to drop it, it's not going to break. It seems like it will last a long time. We just personally never used the app function. I find when I set it, I don't ever have to change it. I do like all the different options of sounds, but we just generally go for the whitest noise one, where it's the dryer, and that is this one. You can hear it. It is a nice sound. It's not like a, you know, steady constant. It has a little bit of variation, which is good for babies, so that, you know, they can hear some variations and not be startled awake. I do like that. I find most of the other settings we don't use, like, you know, jungles and rain and storms and all that stuff. I don't really feel like it's necessary for an infant. Some people prefer that. I just don't necessarily think this is worth the money. In Canada, it's price. I believe it's $80, $75. I think you're better off with 2 separate cheaper items. That's just me personally. Again, don't regret buying it. We clearly still use it. I just wish that it had some better functions and made use of what it does have just a little bit better. So again, still use it. Harlow doesn't have any issues with it. The sound is good. It's just annoying having the buttons on the bottom, and you have to really know what you're going to use on the top to use your preset functions. So that's just my review of it. Again, if you have it, you probably love it, but I do think having 2 separate items is easier. Would I buy this for someone? Probably not. Just because I know I have something to compare to. If this is all that you know, you probably think this is great because it is a 2-in-1. But if you do have something to compare to, I feel like it falls short. I do think it's high quality. I don't think that you're necessarily getting ripped off in that department. I just feel like it could have been made a little bit more user-friendly. Maybe they've come out with a newer model that addresses these issues. But that's all I'm gonna say. But that is it for this review. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found it useful. And again, if you love it, that's great. This is just my personal opinion. So thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more review videos.